Hello. We're going to talk about entering translations into the translation memories. So let's go ahead and grab some text to translate. Put that in, hit continue. Okay, so this is what we've gotten. And a couple things to do here before we even consider putting something into the translation memory. Let's see what's going on and what's actually being translated. We can see that the end here we've got it just isn't really coming up with the actual thing that we'd like. It's a bit nonsensical. All this could stand to be reworded a bit, but we're getting the single kanji one, hito or ichi there, and then we've got mishio, which I guess is unused. There, those are the two terms that we get, but this is actually one word. It's a conjugation of a verb, and this is going to be pretty common because the program does not automatically, I don't know, figure out verb conjugations. They all have to be put in, and most of them aren't. So let's go ahead and put this verb conjugation into a translation memory. So I believe this is hitoyasumi shio, which should be the volitional form of this verb, which is just to rest. So we start off with our Japanese phrase or term here, and we put a space. That's actually very important. It's not going to parse properly if you don't separate your Japanese and your English with a space. Next, we have a slash. The slash is used to separate your translations. So our first translation will be let's rest. There we go. We can add more. Let's go ahead and do that. I'll rest. That's another perfectly valid translation for this phrase here. So I want to take a moment to talk about the capitalization here. I've put in a personal pronoun, so I've chosen to capitalize it. The program has no real concept of names or personal pronouns in particular, so you'll want to capitalize those when you put them in. However, everything else you do not need to capitalize. You want to resist the urge to capitalize the beginning of a translation, because that might not appear at the beginning of a line, and the program will automatically capitalize the beginnings of lines and things that are in parentheses or in quotations. So don't worry about that. Put everything in lowercase unless it's really a name or personal pronoun or something that would be capitalized when it appears in the middle of a sentence. So just for reference sake, the format that these things take is written down right here. But I'm going to show another feature of this, which is, let's say that we really wanted to cover our bases here, and we are concerned that, well, we could be translating this later on, and maybe we don't have kanji in our script. Maybe it's all kana. So let's go ahead and look this up really briefly. Hito Yasumi. We'll go ahead and add this in. This is the pronunciation. This is actually the what it's for, is for adding this in as a pronunciation of this. So here is hitoyasumi and hitoyasumi shio. Hitoyasumi shio. Let's rest. I'll rest. And I'm going to go ahead and just point out this is kind of a worthless feature, but it's a holdover from parsing the edict files. Is you can put in things in parentheses that just they're not really going to serve any purpose. In the edict files, they're used for specifying what type of thing these terms are, but we don't really care about that right now. But I could put in whatever I want there, and that's not going to be used in our translation. So that covers that, but let's go ahead and cover a couple more things here briefly. So let's say we want to add more things in here, and this is just super useful when we're looking through our script and we're just like, oh, I want to add this and I want to add that. Just copy paste them right over here. You add a space, put in a couple of these, and I'm going to say oops. There we go. It's almost break time. My break is coming up. There we go. We could just, we could keep on adding stuff that we wanted to put in, just keep going, and those are just separated by line breaks. Even though this is on 2 lines, it's it's wrapping here. We didn't specifically explicitly say break there, but this is actually a carriage return, and we keep going with those. So that's how you add multiple translations into the translation memory, and you don't have to add all of these to your default current working translation memory. You could add this to whatever you want. This happens to be from Welcome to Pia Carrot, so let's go ahead and pick that. We'll hit continue. That just went into the Welcome to Pia Carrot translation memory. If we go back to beginning here, we can see it defaults back to our working translation memory, and we can change that if we go back to enter our Japanese to English, where we enter in our Japanese text to be translated. That's where you choose your working translation memory. So that's it. I hope that this is helpful.